All right. Hi, guys. This is Coach Steph here, and I've got Coach Craig, and we have your cool down of the week. So we're going to walk you through the stretches that we've got for this week. We're going to spend the amount of time, about a minute or so in each position, and I'm going to talk you through kind of what we're hoping to achieve, and then hopefully at the end you feel nice and relaxed and then ready to train the next day. So Craig's going to be my demo throughout, and he's going to start on his back, and we're going to get into a reclined twist. So as he lays back, he'll bring his right knee into his chest, and then let his right knee fall over to the opposite side. And in this position, we want to just relax the chest down towards the floor, and we're just breathing really easy through the nose and letting everything kind of just soften towards the floor and just kind of get a little heavy as things melt and start opening up. So just a couple breaths here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Allow that exhale to just help the body release that extra tension. All right, I'm bringing that knee through center. I'm just going to bring both knees into the chest for a little bit of a squeeze, and then we'll switch. Okay, so keep his left knee in, and then send it over to the opposite side. Okay. And if your shoulders don't touch the floor, that's okay. We're looking for you to just feel that heaviness so that you can slowly start opening and finding a little bit more space through this position. And breathing through the nose. And then bringing those knees back through center. Give them a squeeze. Okay. And then we're going to grab a lacrosse ball here, and we're going to do a little bit of neck massage. So we're going to lay on the back here, and we're going to target kind of that area that you saw Craig point out. So we're going to get that ball nice into that meaty part of the trap, and you're going to find a spot for that ball to sit that doesn't feel good, okay? And the intensity of that doesn't have to be very high. It can be kind of in that like 5-6 feel, 5 or 6 out of 10. But we do want a little bit of pressure. And then once you feel that spot, you've locked in, you're going to take that arm of the same side you're stretching, and we're gently going to go up and back. And we're going to go 5 slow arm raises. And we're just trying to help that really tense type muscle just release a little bit. Good. Good. And as we're going through these arm swings, if we can get a little bit more range overhead as things start to open up, there we go. Good. Okay. And then once you've done those 5, just search around for anything else that needs just a little bit of love here on this last little bit. Good. All right, let's switch the ball to the other side. You may or may not find a similar sensation, but just find where it needs the most like trigger point pressure applied to it, and then hold there. Again, about a 5 or a 6 on that intensity so you can still breathe. And then we'll go for those 5 slow arm swings. And if you notice, Craig will get lower and lower with his hand to the floor overhead each time. And that's kind of your goal, is to just slowly get to a point where we've increased that range of motion. Good. And then once you've done those 5, just take another couple moments here to search around for anything else that we need a little bit of release. Did you find it? You got it. There you go. Yeah, and just breathing into that pressure point if you found it. The exhale can help soften that tension. Good. All right. And we'll come off of that lacrosse ball, and that ball can kind of just go off to the side. Okay. And we're going to go now into a reclined glute stretch. So we're going to lay back, and Craig's going to put his right foot over and above his left knee. He's going to thread his left hand between the legs, or right hand between the legs, and then grab for the back of the thigh, whatever we can. So you might find back of the thigh works. You can go on the shin so that you get a little bit closer. Or you can do what Craig's doing here, which is a little bit of a hybrid where he's holding the foot. And so that's just helping stay into position here. And let's just kind of breathe. We're finding a stretch in that right hip, that right glute, the meaty part of that hip. And if it feels okay, we can like sway to one side, so you can bring kind of the knees to like leaning to one side or the other, and just kind of finding some movement. You might find an angle that gives you more stretch. There we go. And we'll go ahead and release that nice and easy. And then we'll go to the other side. So this right foot or left foot over and above the right knee. Good, and then grab for what you can. And it's starting with just this position. And if after a couple moments, a little bit of movement gives you more stretch, and play around with kind of rocking side to side, switching the angle up a little bit. And then we gently bring ourselves out of that position. And we're gonna rock to a seat and come into our reclined quad stretch. So in our reclined quad stretch, we're gonna have one foot on the inner left or right thigh, and then the other foot is all the way tucked back behind us here, so that that foot is nice and flat. And so from here, Craig's gonna sit up tall and then lean back into this position as he walks his hands behind him into this big quad stretch. You're gonna feel a lot of stretch in the meat of the quad. If you feel a lot in your hip flexor, you can take your thumb and kind of dig in, just like your trigger point with the lacrosse ball, to try to loosen up some of that tense muscle, and then you might find a little bit more space on the layback. Where are you feeling it? Right in the middle. Yep, right in the middle. Good. And as that stretch slowly starts to release a little bit of that intensity, you can either lean back a little bit more if you feel like that works, or if you like that release in intensity, you can just kind of stay there for the last few moments here, breathing through. All right, gently bringing yourself up to an upright position. And then we're just going to swing the legs around to switch sides. So that left foot now is tucked in. Top of the foot is kind of a long, heels close to your butt. And then we're going to sit up tall and then walk the hands back. A little tighter on this side. Yeah. Where do you feel it on this side? Right, it still in there. Yeah. Are you tighter on the other side, like the left? Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 And using that breath to just release that grip, right? Like sometimes that exhale can just help everything relax. And that's what we need here. All right, we go ahead and just slowly make our way out of that. Yes. Okay, and then we're gonna unhook the feet. We're going to go into a low lunge position. So we're going to step the left foot forward and the right knee can stay down. Your hips are just going to softly kind of descend towards the ground. You're going to feel a little bit of a stretch in the hip crease from there. Then you're going to reach both arms up and we're going to grab our right wrist. Okay? You're going to lift and lengthen up towards the ceiling and lean over towards that left side, pulling at that right wrist. And what you should feel, hopefully, is the stretch starts in the quad and in the hip flexor and kind of travels up the side body as you go for that lifted lean. And breathe a little bit more length into that torso, a little bit taller through the chest, and then lean over towards that knee a little more. Good. And gently bring yourself down out of that position and switching sides. Good. And first thing we do is we relax those hips down so you can start to feel the stretch in the hip crease. Then we reach our arms up. Good. Grab the left wrist, lift, and then lean. Good. Good, and bring yourself gently out of that position. And yes. So that was your cool down of the weeks. Takes about 10 minutes or so. Feel free to stay in those positions longer, especially after you do them, one round, one day, and you know what they are. Stay in the position longer if you feel like you need a little bit extra, if one side needs a little extra. And just remember to breathe. That's the really, really important thing about this is as you breathe, that helps to release the tension and helps downshift and downregulate the central nervous system even more to help these become a little bit more effective. So happy stretching, and I'll see you guys next week.